There are ancient accounts that were deliberately left in the shadows, narratives so disturbing that many preferred they were never told. Today, we will explore 7 of these stories, organized from the least unsettling to the most terrifying of all. Warning: the following content may be extremely disturbing. 1. The corpse that came back to life. Our first story involves a prophet named Elisha and an inexplicable phenomenon that occurred after his death. Elisha was known for his extraordinary deeds during his lifetime, but the most bizarre event happened when he had already been dead and buried for years. One day, during a funeral, invaders attacked the region. In a panic, the gravediggers threw the body they were carrying into the first tomb they could find, which happened to be Elisha's. The moment the corpse touched the bones of the dead prophet, something impossible happened. The man instantly came back to life. He stood up inside the tomb and walked out. No ritual, no explanation, just ancient bones that somehow still carried enough power to reverse death. 2. The entities with multiple faces. A visionary named Ezekiel had an experience that would challenge all human comprehension. He was alone when the heavens were torn open before him. It was not a dream, it was not a hallucination, it was something real. First came an impossible storm, then fire that did not burn like ordinary fire, and then the creatures appeared. Beings with humanoid bodies, each possessing 4 distinct faces: human, lion, ox, and eagle. Their forms defied known geometry, multiple faces within a single being. But that was only the beginning. Above these entities hovered a platform, upon it a throne, and on the throne a presence so intense that Ezekiel could barely describe it, wrapped in fire and blinding light. When he finally grasped what he was witnessing, he collapsed unconscious to the ground. 3. The pre-flood hybrids. Let us go even further back in time, to an era when the boundary between the celestial and the earthly was crossed in a forbidden way. Ancient texts speak of sons of God who united with the daughters of men. The oldest and most disturbing interpretation suggests they were renegade angels who broke fundamental laws of existence. From these unions came the Nephilim, gigantic hybrids, half celestial and half human. They were not only immense in stature, but corrupted in essence. Ancient manuscripts claim these beings taught humanity forbidden knowledge, sorcery, the manipulation of metals for war, and practices that altered human genetics itself. The corruption spread so deeply that, according to the accounts, a complete reset was necessary, a flood that would erase nearly all life on the planet. And there are those who believe signs of that dark age are returning in modern forms: genetic manipulation, the fusion of man and machine, boundaries being crossed once again. 4. The prophet and the guardian lion. An unnamed prophet received a simple mission: deliver a message and return without deviation. Clear instructions were given: do not eat with anyone, do not accept invitations, do not return by the same path. He fulfilled the first part perfectly. But then another prophet appeared, someone who should have been trustworthy, offering hospitality. An angel told me to invite you, the other prophet lied. The unnamed prophet gave in. He ate, drank, and completely ignored the instructions he had received. During the meal, the host suddenly stood up and pronounced a sentence of death. Because of your disobedience, you will not reach the tomb of your ancestors. Shortly afterward, a lion attacked the prophet on the road. But what makes this truly bizarre is what happened next. The lion did not devour the body. It simply killed him and stood there, like a sentry, guarding the corpse. The prophet's donkey remained unharmed beside him. The body was untouched. The lion simply stood watch. 5. The curse of the 42 youths. Elisha,
now alone after the departure of his master, was walking toward a city known for its hostility. Along the way, he was surrounded by a large group of adolescents and young men who began mocking him, shouting insults about his baldness and questioning his authority. But the provocation carried a deeper meaning. It was direct contempt for the divine, a rejection of spiritual authority. Elisha turned, looked at them, and spoke a single word, a curse. Instantly, 2 female bears emerged from the forest and mauled 42 of those youths. No warning, no second chance. The message was clear. Where the sacred is utterly despised, destruction follows inevitably. 6. Jephthah's fatal vow. Jephthah was an outcast, the son of a prostitute, rejected by his own family. But when war came, he was called upon to lead. Desperate for victory, he made a reckless vow. "If I win, I will sacrifice whoever comes out to greet me." He won. He returned as a hero. But the one who came dancing out of his house, celebrating with tambourines and joy, was not a servant or an animal. It was his only daughter. The text records that he tore his clothes in despair. Some believe he sacrificed her literally. Others believe he consecrated her to the temple, where she lived in perpetual celibacy, lost to him either way. What is certain, he lost everything because of a promise that was never asked for, a desperate negotiation that destroyed the one thing that truly mattered. 7. The Dragon and the Celestial Woman. The most enigmatic story of all is recorded in the final book of the ancient texts. An apocalyptic vision, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars. She is in labor, crying out in pain, but she is not alone. A colossal red dragon appears, 7 heads, 10 horns, and a tail so powerful that it sweeps a third of the stars from the sky. The creature positions itself, waiting to devour the child the moment it is born. This is not empty symbolism. Many believe it describes a real event that manifested on the physical plane, an attempt to assassinate a prophesied child, with a ruler ordering the massacre of infants to ensure his death. The child survived. He was taken away, protected. But the dragon did not give up. Unable to destroy the child, it turned against the woman and all her descendants. And that war, they say, continues to this day, invisible but absolutely real. 7 stories, 7 warnings forgotten by time. Each one carries lessons about obedience, power, consequences, and the eternal battle between light and darkness that continues beyond the veil of everyday reality. The question that remains is, why were these stories left in the shadows? Perhaps because some truths are far too dangerous to be widely known.